Hi, right, folks. Welcome back to Glesga News. Okay, so it's just a continuation of everything vaccine virus related, and I think this is quite important to get this out there, or just my views on it. You can agree or disagree, but I know I'm forming an opinion about what's happening. And before I really start on it, the record itself, the journalists themselves, and in fact, this particular article is by Craig Payton and Tara Fitzpatrick. And so what you've got is you've got various journalists coming up with various stories, but nobody's joining the dots. It's just like they might be talking about it in the tea room, but they're not actually talking about it in the paper. They're just individual stories, but they're not giving their view on the stories. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to give them a view on the stories by joining the dots of their stories. So in order to do that, I kind of have to go in reverse sort of thing here. So we'll start with this one here. So it says here, and this is dated from today, Sunday the 10th of January. All right. Now keep in mind that 2 weeks ago, they already started vaccinating. Do you remember there was a big publicity, the wee women getting the jag in their care home? Do you remember that? The first women to be given the injection, the vaccine. Do you remember? Okay, so we're 14 days beyond that now, and we're talking more about the vaccines that are coming online, but we'll get into that. So here we go. So it says here, Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine set for Scotland-wide rollout from tomorrow, which would be Monday the 11th. The jab, or the injection, was approved by the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency on December 30th. Now, don't get overawed by that big name there. That's just an agency, and that agency licenses AstraZeneca. It's so that AstraZeneca is protected. If 10,000 people die, well, they were given a license to do it. And also keep in mind that most vaccines take years to develop. This has come out in months, all right? And there are specific instructions from each manufacturer with regard to their their vaccine. Okay, so it says here, the injection, which was approved by the Medicines and Health Products Regulatory Agency on December 30th, has already been administered in Tayside, Lothian, Orkney, Highlands and the Highlands Health Board. The news of the rollout comes after Nicola Sturgeon, the Queen of the North, confirmed over 100,000 people have received the Pfizer biotech vaccine since it was approved in early December. So those people in early December, that's 14 days ago, have received a different vaccine, and they've received the Pfizer vaccine. All right, so it's not the same company, it's not the same compound. It's basically attacking the same virus, but it's made up. It's a different blend as such, right? And each manufacturer, the scientists, right, who built it, are telling you that you must give a second dose within 3 weeks. All right, so you get your first vaccination, and then you get your second vaccination of the same manufacturer's vaccine. So as I say, the Pfizer one was dealt out 100 to 100,000 people in early December. It then goes on to say Scotland has an allocation of 533,000 of the other vaccine, the Oxford vaccine, for the month of January, which requires 2 jabs similar to its counterpart. All right. So the people that got the jab back in the early December are looking for their second jab, but they don't have the Pfizer biotech because they used them all up. They didn't put any aside and say, right, okay, that's for their second jab, and that would include all the people in care homes, right? They've gave them all the jab, and round them all, and then bolted out the door. Let's go to the next care home. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. No thought really to what's going to happen in 2 weeks to 3 weeks time. And here we are. They've ran out. They've exhausted it. They've gave it out to whoever they can. I mean, I can see the logic behind it, but you shouldn't be doing that until you know you've got the same vaccine coming in for the second vaccination, right? You can't mix and match. The scientists are already telling you. Who came up with that idea? Well, that idea, just to recap slightly, that idea is not science-based. That's a committee-based decision. That's based on supply and demand. That's got nothing to do with it. That's like, Tesco's and toilet paper. You're only getting 2 a day. So it's no scientists that's decided that. In fact, a lot of the scientists are saying, who came up with that? Gone their own way. However, and I have noticed that, the First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, the Queen of the North, she is quite clever about the way she's saying it. She's framing it in the way we need to get this out to as many people as possible. And she's saying that's allowed because how many are there? That medical guy's telling me that the immune response is amazing. We've seen quite an amazing immune response, and that people are becoming resistant. Well, I'm going to show you in another story, right? That's what I'm talking about, joining the dots, that's not the case. And if they change the dynamics of the manufacturer's instructions, then everything changes. So anyway, let's move on. And it goes on to say, Health Secretary Jean Freeman said the delivery of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is a major development for the biggest vaccination programme we have ever delivered. I would like to thank everyone involved for their continued efforts to ensure the pace of the programme continues. Next week I will update Parliament with further logistical details of the vaccination programme. Well, thanks very much, Jean. But unfortunately for you, you're getting it wrong. I'm going to show you why you're getting it wrong, Jean. Because this story, and that's what I'm talking about, there's 2 stories running the new, right, that indicate and highlight that. And this is the second story. This is by Gordon Blackstock. Now, Gordon should have been liaising with the other 2, all right? And one story should reference the other. And this story goes back to the people that were vaccinated a couple of weeks ago. So what's this headline? The first care home to receive vaccine in Scotland has been hit with a new COVID outbreak. So this guy telling us about the amazing immune response, the amazing antibody response, doesn't seem to be tying up with what's actually happening on the ground. Experts say the outbreak proves the vaccine is not enough to end the pandemic on its own. So it's changing slightly here now, isn't it, folks? Groups representing families said they knew of other homes where residents have been treated but later developed symptoms. Abercorn Care Home in Hamilton received the Pfizer vaccination in December 14. Now that's nearly a month, right? That's well past the 2-week incubation period. They should already have had a second dose, but their doses have been delayed because of this so-called new strategy developed by the administration, the Scottish administration. And that, as I say, is based on what they think is a great plan to try and get it out there to as many people as possible. And I understand that, but it's flawed. All right? Because what happens now is that those people that have now went beyond the 3-week, 4-week period, they're either being reinfected, or when they're revaccinated with the other vaccine, the virus could still be there and it could now be resilient. It could be able to resist the effects of the vaccine. In other words, it will mutate again. So similar to what the Scottish Government and everybody else tells you about, constantly getting antibiotics for this and constantly getting antibiotics for that, these, microbes, etc., build up a resistance and they can beat the medication. And that's what they're, in my opinion, going to cause. They're going to cause a vaccine-resistant strain of COVID-19, which has already mutated, and the new mutation is 70% more infectious. So when you start getting hit with it now, and it can resist both vaccines, then that will be a direct cause of the mismanagement of the vaccination programme. It's no rocket science. Nobody told them to do that. They've made that up themselves because of a supply and demand issue. All right? The majority of the population are safe. What should have been done is the people in the care homes, the over 70s, 80s, whatever, they should have been isolated and given their double vaccination within the programme, within the time frame. Do them first. But instead what's happened is they've just rattled them and jumped about all the care homes until they've used up their stock, and now they're screaming for more stock. It'll take a month to get stock. They're now beyond the point where they should have vaccinated, and I believe people are now being reinfected, and that includes staff and patients. So that's where we are, folks, unfortunately. This is my opinion. I've been right in a lot of things that I've said so far. I was right about the schools being an amplifier for the virus. The minute the kids all went back to school, the minute the unis all started up, it exploded again, down in England and up here. And now they're saying maybe we shouldn't have opened the schools. But Glesga News was saying that months and months and months ago. Go back and look, you'll find the videos. People in the comments were saying, I don't talk shite. Aye, is that right? The teachers are off feared now because they know. Anyway, folks, I've kind of rabbited on for about 11 minutes here. If you like the content, hit the like button, share and subscribe, because that's all I've got to say about that for now. Peace out.
How dare you